Hello and welcome everyone. Today we are making a different kind of video. Me and my husband Chase are going to be making katsu curry. This isn't quite an instructional video in that we aren't really using any exact measurements. We just wanted to show you our own attempt at making one of our favorite Japanese foods at home for the first time. These are the ingredients we're going to be using, but in a little bit I'll show you an actual screen where we have all the ingredients listed out for the whole recipe. We're going to be eating our katsu curry with rice, but we pre-made that, so I'm not going to be adding our rice making process into the video. If you want that, I'm sure there's plenty of other videos on YouTube you could look at. We're also going to be having some beer to enjoy while we cook. This one's a local one from Kamakura. We're going to start by tenderizing our pork cutlets. We don't have a meat tenderizer or a mallet, so we're going to be using the back of a knife. As you can see, some of the cutlets have fat caps on one side. We will be cutting those fat caps to help prevent any type of shrinkage or curling whenever we start frying them. Once they're all tenderized, we're going to lightly season with salt and MSG, then place in the fridge to rest for 30 minutes. While the cutlets rest, we're going to prep our vegetables for the curry. We're going to be peeling all the vegetables, but these guys are extra dirty, so we're going to give them a quick rinse first. After peeling the vegetables, begin chopping them up into manageable sizes. How big or small you make your chunks is really up to your preference. We found this to be about bite size, so it was pretty perfect. In our recipe, we used 1 onion, 3 medium carrots, and 4 potatoes. Once it was all chopped up, we realized it might be a little too much carrots and potatoes, so we set some aside to eat later in the week. If you feel like making this recipe, feel free to use as many or as few vegetables as you like. I mean, I'm not the boss of you. Now in a large pot, add some oil, throw in just the onions, and let them cook until slightly translucent before adding the rest of your veggies. We'll be seasoning the vegetables just the same as the cutlets with a bit of salt and MSG. We won't be adding much seasoning because the curry stock is packed with flavor. Now we're going to add 48 ounces of chicken broth. You can use any broth you like, just try not to spill it like we did. And leave on medium heat, stirring occasionally until the veggies are mostly cooked through. Now, for full transparency, me and Chase made a bit of a mistake. This is the curry stock we will actually be using. This mix comes in a solid puck-like form that is supposed to be mixed with broth and vegetables. The box we showed earlier is more like a single serving of pre-made curry that you just heat up and put over rice. Thankfully, we were able to realize our mistake before it was too late, and Chase was able to run out and get the right kind of mix. Now that our little mix-up is fixed, we'll add 1 full puck of curry mix, and later, that we don't show, we add another half to thicken the curry and make the flavor more intense. And if you're making this dish at home, taste it along the way and change it to your desires. Me and Chase just prefer a stronger curry flavor. After adding the curry puck, stir the vegetables, broth, and puck until completely dissolved. Keep on medium heat and wait for it to thicken up, stirring every now and then. You want it to be a gravy-like consistency. While waiting for the curry to thicken up, we're going to begin our breading process. We're going to be using all-purpose flour, 5 eggs, and this brand of panko crumb. It has this guy on it, and apparently it's number 1. Spread your flour on a plate and add whatever seasonings you desire to be in your breading. For us, we're just adding garlic powder. We want to keep things simple this first time around. Maybe next time we'll try making it spicy. This part is pretty obvious. Just put your panko crumbs on a separate plate. This is our 5th egg, the one that was missing from earlier. After looking at all the pork cutlets, we thought we might need another one in there. So just scramble those bad boys up, and we're ready to start the process. By the way, we are using peanut oil to fry our cutlets. The breading process begins with taking a cutlet, putting it in the flour, then a dip into the egg bath, then into panko, and while waiting for the oil to heat up, we're just going to set them right there. And just rinse and repeat that same process. Frying the pork cutlets is pretty much the same as frying any type of meat. Just flip it, make sure no sides are burning, and take it out when it's golden brown. Be sure to temp it, especially if it's pork or chicken. And don't forget to take care of your curry. Make sure it's not burning on the bottom. If it is, lower the temp and remember to keep stirring. You want it to be a gravy consistency. Once your pork cutlets are done frying, you can take them out of the oil and place them on a wire cooling rack so that way the oil drips off and you won't get any soggy cutlets. You want to keep them nice and crispy, so if you don't have a wire cooling rack, some paper towels to help soak up the oil might help. And finally, now that all our pork cutlets are done frying and our curry is nice and thick and we've rewarmed our rice, we're going to start plating. Start out with a nice bed of rice, and then we're going to put a healthy serving of that thick curry on top. Now Chase is giving them the crispiness test, and he's going to cut them up and place them on top of the curry and rice. And of course, before either of us digs in, we have to give the pork katsu a taste by itself. And it looks like it's got the okay from Chase. And here's the final look at our pork katsu curry. And that's our pork katsu curry. I feel like it's a fairly simple dish to make, but that doesn't make it any less delicious. As you can see, we both enjoy it very much, and if you make it, I hope you enjoy it too. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good day, night, or morning.